Hello, friends. You may have heard of something called ChatGPT. And since you're on my channel, you've definitely heard about manifestation. In today's video, I want to see what ChatGPT knows about manifestation. So I'm going to ask it some questions and rate its responses based on my knowledge as a professional manifestation coach. If you're new here, I'm Coach Katie, the creator of Manifest Best, and I teach people how to manifest the best. Check the link in my description for helpful resources that have helped many of my clients manifest their dream lives. But now, let's get into the video. If you don't know, ChatGPT is an artificial intelligence chatbot developed by OpenAI. It gives almost human-like responses when asked a question that are supposed to be surprisingly accurate. But let's test that theory. I figured we'd start with the basics and ask, what is manifestation? So we are here on ChatGPT. And we're asking, what is manifestation? Manifestation is the process of bringing your desires or intentions into reality through focused thoughts, emotions, and actions. Okay, so let's start there. Agree, for the most part. So if you've been on my channel for a while, you know that one of the things that one of the terms that I've coined is the 5 pillars of manifestation. So those 5 pillars are your beliefs, thoughts, feelings, words, and actions. So it does talk about your thoughts, it does talk about your feelings, it does talk about your actions, but it is missing that aspect of beliefs and words. Pretty accurate so far though. It involves using the power of the mind to attract positive outcomes and experiences in your life. Okay, I'm going to have to disagree with this. So yeah, your mind is definitely powerful, absolutely. And it does say involves, it doesn't say that's the entire process. So I'm going to agree with that part. The part I disagree with though is attracting positive outcomes and experiences. In my experience, manifestation is not attraction, it is creation. Okay, subtle difference, but worth pointing out. It also says that manifestation techniques involve visualization, positive affirmations, and taking inspired action towards your goals. Definitely, I very much agree with that. The underlying idea is that everything in the universe is made up of energy, very true, and by aligning your thoughts and emotions with the energy of what you desire, you can attract it into your life. Again, I'm going to have to disagree with the attraction part. Again, in my experience, it's much more of a creation, but I definitely am surprised at how well this is doing so far. Manifestation is often associated with the law of attraction, which suggests that like attracts like. So if you know me as a coach, I don't coach based on the law of attraction. I do think that is a valid method. However, it's not a law, right? Law implying it is this or nothing. It is only this, which is not true. I myself have manifested many good things while feeling terrible, which defies the law of attraction entirely. So the law of attraction, it is a valid way to manifest, but it is certainly not the only way. I do find the law of attraction to be quite disinclusive. I'm not sure if that's a word, but it's quite disinclusive, especially of people who are struggling with mental illness. So people who struggle with depression, anxiety, OCD, PTSD, CPTSD, bipolar, borderline, etc. You do not need to have perfect feelings to create a perfect life. Okay, and that goes along with that like attracts like, which again, I agree it's a valid way of manifesting if you can get there and if you already feel good most of the time already, but it's not necessary in order to manifest. However, it's important to note that manifestation is not a magic formula for getting everything you want without any effort. Oh, ChatGPT, I love you for saying that. This is something I talk about all the time, especially when it comes to things like the 369, the pillow method, the whisper method, spell work. Manifestation is not magical. It's truly not magical. It is something that we're already doing naturally all the time. So it isn't something where things just fall from the sky. There is work involved, right? And if you're at the point where things are kind of falling from the sky, so to speak, it took you work in order to get to that point, even if you weren't consciously doing that work. So things like self-love, confidence, optimism, right? There's a lot that goes into being able to manifest magically. It's not as magic as it seems if you're able to break down and see exactly how the magic works, right? Just like a magic show, it might appear like things are just falling out of the sky, but in reality, there's a lot of intricate work that goes into making it look that easy, right? It still requires taking action most of the time, not always, and putting in the necessary work to achieve your goals. Yeah, so I do agree. Like I said, it does take work if you're conscious of the work leading towards your manifestation or not. For almost everybody, there is some work involved. But that work is not necessarily taking action towards your manifestation. It can be, but oftentimes that work is taking action towards yourself. Yeah. Manifestation simply provides a framework for focusing your thoughts and energies in a positive and productive direction. Absolutely agree. The way I like to put it is that manifestation does not make everything easy, but it does make everything possible. Right? So far, I'm impressed. I did not think it was going to get this many things right. There's a lot of coaches that I feel wouldn't even be able to give quite as good of a response as this. I've seen it, right? No hate, but I have seen other coaches kind of struggle to give a response that makes this much sense. So I got to give ChatGPT some credit. I do have to take off a couple of points just because, again, in my opinion, the law of attraction is not the only way to manifest. And also it is leaving out that aspect of beliefs and words contributing to your manifestation. But other than that, this is good. So I'm going to give this ChatGPT response a solid B+. Maybe even an A-, but it was pretty good. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. So one thing that this did bring up was manifestation techniques. So let's dive into that. What are the best manifestation techniques? There are various manifestation techniques that people use to help them bring their desires into reality. Here are some of the most popular ones. Okay, so far I am liking this. So it starts off with visualization. Visualization is awesome. Visualization involves creating a mental image of your desired outcome in your mind. Yeah, give or take. I'll touch on that in a second. So this technique involves using all of your senses to imagine the situation as vividly as possible, as if it has already happened. Okay, so I'm gonna have to disagree. So visualization is about creating a mental image. Kinda, sorta, it can be, but that is a very restrictive definition. So ideally, yes, you're going to have a full image. You're going to incorporate all of your senses. I agree that that's ideal if you can get there, but not everybody can. Not everyone is capable right now in this moment of developing a strong mental image with vivid imagery, and I can smell it and I can taste it and I feel like I can touch it. If you can get there, great. If you can't get there, you can still visualize. Visualizing is thinking. So anybody can do this. Everybody does do this. And one way I like to think about it is like this, and I'll walk you through a quick little practice. So imagine walking up to your car. And if you don't have a car, pretend you do, okay? Imagine walking up to your car. Imagine unlocking the driver's door. Imagine opening the door, sitting down, putting down your purse or your things. Imagine adjusting the seat, the mirrors. Imagine buckling your seatbelt. You get that little click of the seatbelt, right? Imagine that feeling of the seatbelt against your chest. Imagine putting the key in the ignition, turning it. If you have keyless entry, imagine whatever that's like. Imagine turning on the radio. What are you listening to? Is it the radio? Is it your phone? Is it Spotify? Is it podcast? What is it? Do you drive in silence like a weirdo? Imagine putting your foot on the brake, putting the car into gear, and then moving your foot to the gas. Imagine the hands on the steering wheel. Just imagine. Now, however you just imagined that was visualization. You thought about it. You imagined something in your mind. That is visualization. Whether or not you were able to feel the seatbelt on your chest, whether or not you were able to hear the radio, whether or not you were able to see the vision, whatever you just did, that was visualization. So I do have to disagree with this slightly, but let's get back into it. The other thing that I wanted to disagree with is that you have to imagine as if it already happened. Again, if you can do that, great, but you don't have to. Especially like I work with a lot of people who are manifesting love. So in order to manifest love, right, when I tell my clients, okay, you should visualize, it's not always just imagine that you're in a perfect, beautiful relationship. Sometimes we manifest in steps. So if you're able to visualize, what would it be like if I knew that my perfect match was out there? What would it be like if I knew this person was going to call me today? So you don't have to imagine them calling you. You can imagine what comes before that. So just wanted to point that out as well. So the next one here is positive affirmations. Positive affirmations are statements that you repeat to yourself, usually in the present tense. Usually it can be in the future tense. It can also be in the past tense. I'm not gonna lie. You can use affirmations like, I have felt happy before, right? That's an affirmation. So I know I can feel happy again. He said that he loved me, right? He said that he loved me. That's a positive affirmation that happened in the past. So usually present tense, I do agree with that, but other options are available. So using positive affirmations that affirm what you want to manifest. For example, if you want to manifest abundance, you might repeat to yourself, I am abundant and prosperous. So yeah, this sounds like something that was taken off the internet. The affirmation, I am abundant and prosperous, is not going to work very well for most people because most people don't talk like that, right? If you're having a conversation with your friend, let's say that you did come into a good amount of money, you're probably not going to tell your friend, Yes, my friend, I am so abundant and prosperous. Maybe. And if you do talk like that, more power to you. Usually, though, affirmations are best framed in a way that feels natural for you, right? So, however you would normally talk to yourself in your head or out loud to a friend or family member, that's how you want to phrase your affirmations. So, I'm rich as fuck. That would be a great affirmation for me. Oh. But so far, I really like the recommendations that it's giving. I love affirmations. I love visualizations. The next one it lists here is gratitude. Gratitude involves focusing on the things you are grateful for in life. This technique can help you cultivate a positive mindset and attract more positive experiences into your life. Again, the only thing I have to pick with this is the attract. Again, I think it's more creating those positive experiences. It's a subtle difference. It doesn't make a huge difference if you use the word attract versus create, but I do like the idea of creation versus attraction because it puts more power in the person, right? Attract sounds like I'm waiting for something to come to me. I'm waiting to be a match. It sounds a little disempowering to me, but the idea of creation, I am doing what needs to be done in order to manifest, therefore I will manifest. So I'm not sitting around waiting for something. I'm taking an active role in creating it. I'm taking the steps that are necessary in order to get what I want. That to me makes more sense. But other than that, definitely agree. I love gratitude, the practice of gratitude, gratitude journaling, all that is great. The next one is setting intentions. Setting intentions involves writing down or stating your desired outcome in a clear, specific way. Kind of sounds like scripting, right? So writing your intentions down. Yeah, I would agree with that. This technique helps you focus your attention on what you want to achieve. I would say I honestly don't resort to setting intentions very often. It's not a staple technique, in my opinion, because it doesn't do that much, right? So these techniques that are talked about here, so the visualization, the affirmations, the gratitude, and then if you want to think of setting intentions, like writing your intentions as scripting, all of those are the techniques that I recommend because they change the way your brain operates, right? So if we're changing the layout of our brain, we're changing the functionality of our brain, literally rewiring the pathways. That's what those techniques do. That's why I recommend using them, because they're literally backed by science. But when it comes to simply setting an intention, it's more of a placebo effect. It's not so much rewiring the brain. It does help you to set good expectations, which is good, but I think it only goes so far, right? If I set the intention of, I intend to be a millionaire, but at the same time, if my beliefs, thoughts, feelings, words, and actions counter that intention means nothing, right? So intention, definitely not in my top favorite, but I see the validity, especially if you're scripting and actually writing it down. And the last one it mentions here is meditation, okay? Interesting. Let's get into it. Meditation involves quieting your mind and focusing on your breath or a specific object. Sure, it can also be a mantra. Really, anything can be meditation. Mopping the floor can be a meditation. But yes, agreed. This technique can help you reduce stress and anxiety, increase focus and clarity, and connect with your inner self. True. I don't usually consider meditation to be a direct technique for manifesting. Unless you are repeating a mantra, right? Like, I am wealthy, I make so much money, I'm so rich, I'm so rich, I'm so rich. If you're kind of just letting your mind go blank, it's a great thing to do And I definitely recommend everybody meditates every day, but it's not necessarily going to directly correlate to your manifestation. What it does is, like it says here, helps give you clarity and increase focus. It also really helps, like it says here, with stress and anxiety. So those things, reducing stress and anxiety, increasing focus and clarity, those things are going to indirectly help you manifest. So I definitely agree, meditation is an essential part of manifesting, but it's not necessarily a direct causation. But I still definitely would recommend it. And finally here it says, it's important to note that different manifestation techniques can work better for different people. Yes, yes. So it's important to experiment and find what works best for you. Absolutely. I tell this to everybody. Manifestation is not one size fits all, you guys. It's not. If you hate writing, don't script. Don't do it, because it's not going to work for you, right? If it works great for someone else and that's the only reason you're doing it, but you personally hate the technique, it's not going to work for you the same way that it worked for that person. You do need to find what's right for you. So definitely agree with that. I'm impressed with that one. Additionally, it's important to remember that manifestation is not a substitute for hard work and action. Very true. Hold on. It's important to remember that manifestation is not a substitute for hard work and action. Okay, everything is a manifestation. So manifestation techniques, like the ones that listed here, the techniques are not a substitute for hard work and action, but hard work and action are manifestations. Everything is a manifestation. Action is a manifestation. So techniques are not a substitute, but manifestation is everything. So you can't substitute something for itself. Okay. And then finally, while manifestation can help you align your thoughts and emotions with your goals, it's ultimately up to you to take action and make your dreams a reality. Sometimes, not always. Usually, but not always. I think this one, this one was a little less cohesive. This one was a little, we're going to give this one a C. C plus. I'm going to give this answer a C plus. I know it's a pretty short answer, and maybe that's why I feel like it's kind of lacking a bit. But with the techniques that it recommended, that's where I'm giving it that higher grade, because the techniques it recommends are accurate. Except for the setting intentions, that one's a little iffy. And then meditation, again, it's not a direct causation. But overall, I think the suggestions were good. I do think that there were some things that I pointed out that just really weren't very accurate. But overall, still pretty impressed. And we're going to give this answer a C plus. Okay, next, I want to ask ChatGPT how to script. How do you script for manifestation? Thinking. Okay. Scripting is a manifestation technique that involves writing down a detailed description of your desired outcome as if it has already happened. Here's how to script for manifestations. Agreed. Again, you can write steps. You can manifest in steps. So it doesn't need to be jumping straight to the end, but that's valid. Start by writing down your desired outcome in detail. Use the present tense. You don't have to use the present tense. You actually can use future tense. You can even use past tense. It's not done very often, but it's not wrong to do. So it doesn't need to be present tense. And describe your desired outcome as if it has already happened. For example, if you want to manifest a new job, you might write, I'm so grateful for my new job at XYZ company. I love the work I do, and my colleagues are supportive and kind. Okay, so again, you don't need to write as if it's already happened. You can manifest in steps. You can write, today I sent in my resume and I feel really confident about it. And then again, you can write, today I did my interview and I'm going to get a call back. Today I got a call back. You can manifest in steps. The other thing you can do is you can actually write in future tense. It does not need to be present tense, okay? So if I, for example, am manifesting an ex back, I don't need to write, me and my ex are back together. I can write, me and my ex are going to get back together, okay? Sometimes that's better, because if we jump straight to the present tense and we start writing as if we already have everything we want, that can bring up a lot of resistance. It can feel like a complete lie. And if that is the approach that we're taking, so we're writing something because a computer told us to write it this way, or some other coach told us write only in the present tense, but if that doesn't make sense to us, and if it brings up a lot of resistance, worry, fear, doubt, it feels like a lie, it's not going to help you. So scripting is meant to help rewire your brain, right? We want to wire our brain to think in terms that are going to facilitate the outcome that we want. And if we're thinking of this in terms of I'm lying to myself, that's not going to get us where we want. So if you can get to the end, great, do that. But if you need to manifest in steps, if you need to write or script in future tense, and that feels more genuine, and that feels more believable, and therefore it makes you feel better, do that. Be specific about details. Include specific details of your desired outcomes, such as what you see, hear, feel, and experience. Specific details are great. They are not necessary every time. So for example, if you want to make scripting a daily part of your practice, you can write, today is going to be a great day. That's scripting. Scripting does not have to list out your 5 senses and all the details and doing all this every time. It is good to do that sometimes, but you don't have to do it every time. The more specific you are, the more vivid the visualization will be in your mind. Absolutely correct. Scripting is great because it's a combination of affirmations and visualization, but in a written form. Okay, that's really what scripting is. The affirmation part is basically writing as if you have what you want or you're going to get what you want, but you're just writing it out instead of speaking it. And the visualization comes in because as you're writing things out, you're imagining it in your mind. So I definitely agree with that. Write in a positive tone, use positive language, and avoid negative words or phrases. Boo. This is not true, okay? Is it good to do this? Sure. Do you have to do this? No, you don't have to do this, okay? So for example, if you want to manifest that you don't have any debt, according to this, you can't use the word debt. You can't use the word don't. You can't say, I don't have any more debt. You can't say, I am debt free, which is ridiculous. That's so restrictive. It's very one size fits all, and it's not accommodating for the fact that people are individuals. And the positive flip of that would just be, I can pay for everything I want. But if my goal is to get out of debt and I'm trying to get around that by saying, well, I have enough money for everything I want, there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, but it's not addressing the thing that you actually want. So for some people, that's completely fine, but it's not going to work like that for everybody. Some people, it's going to be best for you to literally write, I no longer have debt, and it feels amazing. That is going to be the most powerful sentence for some people. And I think this really restrictive way of looking at it, this is kind of what I was expecting from ChatGPT, because this is what most coaches teach. Most coaches teach this really restrictive, one size fits all, everyone's the same, everyone needs to do this kind of manifestation, which if you've been listening to multiple coaches, you know it's not always the best approach, right? You really do need something that's right for you. And what's right for the stranger next to you or the random subscriber across the world is not going to necessarily be the same thing that you should be doing. Okay, so I definitely disagree with that. Read your script regularly. Read your script every day, preferably in the morning and before bed. So rereading your script is great. It's not necessary. You could technically write the script and never look at it again. That's what I do with most of my scripts. Sometimes rereading it can feel obsessive. It can feel like you're trying to force something to happen. It can feel like trying to take too much control. And trying to take control only comes from a place of feeling like you don't have control. Okay? No one who has control, no one who has genuine control tries to take control. They are control. They already have control, right? I don't need to try to take control of my right arm and I'm trying to raise my arm. No, I raise my freaking arm because I have control of my arm. I don't need to try to take control. You know what I'm saying? So rereading your script, for some people, it's a good idea. For some people, it's a bad idea. Okay, so again, manifestation is not one size fits all. Take this with a grain of salt. Read your script every day in the morning and before bed. Yes, that's correct. So manifesting in the morning and the evening closest to sleep is actually scientifically beneficial because that's when our brain is operating in a theta state. Theta state basically just means this is the time when your brain absorbs the most new information the easiest. So if you want your manifestations to be the most effective, meaning you're putting in the least amount of effort, the least amount of time, but getting the most result, the most benefit, yes, doing it closest to sleep is ideal. But again, lifestyles vary, right? If you have to get up at 4:30 in the morning for work, you might not want to do it in the morning, right? If you are completely exhausted by the end of the day and all you want to do is crawl into bed, maybe right before bed is not right for you, okay? So there are variables. Again, you are a unique individual human being. You have your own lifestyle and you don't need to do what everyone else is doing. You need to do what's right for you, okay? As you read it, imagine yourself living in the reality that you've written. Agreed, if you're going to read it, that's a good thing to do. And then trust the process. Trust that your desired outcome is on its way. Okay, let's pause there. Trust that your desired outcome is on the way. Yes, but scripting alone is not going to do that. Okay, so if I write in my notebook, I lost 50 pounds, and I write about the feeling behind it and all this stuff, but then I do everything in my life to counter that. My belief says, you got to work out and diet to lose weight. My thoughts say, I'm fat, I'm fat, I'm fat, I'm fat. My feelings feel low confidence, right? Feeling self-conscious, feeling not beautiful. My words are complaining about my clothes don't fit, I don't like the way I look, and my actions are eating a bunch of junk food and sitting on the couch all day. Writing, I lost 50 pounds in my notebook isn't going to do anything. So it is important to trust, but put your trust in a stock that's going to pay off. Don't put your trust in something that's going to screw you over or not get you what you want, right? So trust is good, but make sure that trust is well placed. So simply trusting, if I write this in my notebook, all my problems will magically be solved, you're probably going to get disappointed. Trust is good, but put your trust in the right place. And then here it says, let go of any doubts or fears that may arise. Yes, that's definitely good. But again, make sure that those doubts and fears are being addressed, right? So if, again, I'm trying to lose 50 pounds, but then I'm eating McDonald's 5 times a day, and I'm having doubts and fears come up because of that, just eliminating my doubts and fears is not going to make me lose 50 pounds. I need to stop eating McDonald's 5 times a day. Okay. So sometimes your doubts and fears are telling you something, and we don't want to just dismiss them blindly. We want to actually evaluate those doubts and fears before making a decision of, should I listen to these doubts and fears and make a change, or are these doubts and fears not really based on anything and I can kind of just let them go, right? So again, it's not one size fits all. Remember that scripting is just one manifestation technique and it may work differently for different people. Very true. The key is to find the technique that works best for you and stick with it. Very true. Manifestation requires consistent effort and focus, so be patient and persistent in your practice. Very true. That last paragraph is the only one I liked. Really, I think I disagreed with everything else. So, I'm going to give this one, it's like a C- or a D+. Honestly, because it's so restrictive, I think that this advice is going to work great for some people, but I think at least half of the people who were to, if you applied this advice, I think at least half of the people would fail just using this advice. So we're going to give it a D+. I'm not a fan of this one, but I still think, interesting. All right, I have one more question for ChatGPT, and I saved the best for last. So this question, I know a lot of you are going to be interested in. How do I manifest my ex back? Now, if you guys know about me, this is something that I focus on a lot currently as a manifestation coach. I had a lot of videos about this go viral on TikTok. So this is something I talk about a lot. I've actually developed an entire course to help you manifest your ex back. And well, I manifested my ex back and our wedding is May 13th. So this is something I know a lot about. I'm super skeptical of what ChatGPT has to say about this, but we'll see. Will ChatGPT put me out of my job? Should you just use this instead of buying my course? Let's find out. All right, manifesting an ex back is a sensitive topic, and it's important to approach it with care and consideration for all parties involved. Yeah, all right, let's go with it. Here are some general steps you can take if you're looking to manifest an ex back. 1, focus on yourself first. Yes, true. Before trying to manifest your ex back, focus on your own personal growth and well-being. Work on becoming the best version of yourself so that if your ex does come back, you are in a healthier, happier place. I agree. This is not true for all circumstances. I will say I definitely have some clients who, I won't say need to focus on themselves less, but self-focus was not the issue, right? There are some cases where trying to work on yourself isn't the main issue. So most of the time, yes, but not always. Identify the reasons why you want your ex back. Are you hoping to rekindle a genuine love and connection, or are you motivated by fear, loneliness, and insecurity? Be honest with yourself about your true intentions. Agreed. If you're trying to manifest anything based on fear, the result is going to reflect your intentions. So yeah, I think it's a good thing to consider. Let go of attachment. It's important to let go of attachment to the outcome and trust that everything happens for your highest good. I'm going to agree with this. Everything does happen for your highest good, right? So especially breakups, right? If you are going through a breakup, and I'm assuming the breakup is unwanted, it happened for a reason, right? Now, the reason isn't the universe. The reason is you had things you needed to work on and you needed to separate in order to work on them. Or separating allows you a great container in order to be able to work on those things. So I do agree, even breakups are beneficial. right? There's always something that you can gain from the breakup, right? And a lot of times, especially with my clients, what you gain is learning how to manifest, right? Also practicing self-love, learning about relationship skills, things like that. If your ex is meant to come back, it will happen naturally without force or manipulation. Okay. This idea of whatever's meant to be will be is bullshit. Okay. We manifest everything. So whatever will be is whatever we manifest. When we kind of throw up our hands and say, oh, whatever's meant to be will be, we're not taking accountability, we're not taking initiative, and we're likely not doing the things that are necessary in order to get the desired outcome. Okay? Imagine if a doctor came to you and said, hey, you have cancer. And you said, oh my God, doc, what are we going to do? And your doctor said, hey, whatever's meant to be will be. Where's the accountability? Right? You're about to file a lawsuit because that is so negligent. The doctor's not taking any responsibility whatsoever. So same goes for manifestation. When you throw up your hands and just say, hey, whatever's meant to be will be, you're not taking any accountability, you're not taking any initiative, you're not taking any responsibility, and it's much less likely that you're gonna get the outcome you want, okay? So I don't agree with that at all. But I do agree with it will happen without force or manipulation. Yeah, absolutely. Manifestation is not about force or manipulation whatsoever. Number 4, visualize a positive outcome. Visualize yourself and your ex in a positive, loving relationship. Imagine the two of you communicating effectively, resolving conflicts peacefully, and supporting each other unconditionally. Definitely agree. Visualization can be a great technique. Use positive affirmations. Use positive affirmations to reinforce your belief in your desired outcome. For example, you might repeat to yourself, I'm so grateful for my loving and fulfilling relationship with my ex. Or, I trust that the universe is bringing me and my ex back together for our highest good. So I will say affirmations can be and usually are great to use. I'm skeptical about these affirmations, right? Because again, most people don't talk like, I'm so grateful for my loving and fulfilling relationship with my ex. It kind of sounds generic. It sounds like something that somebody told you to say. And so you just said it because some person on the internet said that you should say it. It doesn't really sound like it's coming from the heart. Now, I could be wrong. There may be people out there who really resonate with the way that this is phrased. And if so, that's fantastic. But I think most people, you're going to want to change the wording. I trust that the universe is bringing me and my ex together for our highest good. Again, if that feels like it really resonates with you and it feels like, yeah, this is how I would normally speak to myself, great, do that. But I do think you're going to want to change the wording around a bit. Take inspired action. This is number 6. Finally, take inspired action towards your goal. Okay, let's keep going before I judge. This may involve reaching out to your ex to initiate a conversation, working on improving communication and resolving past issues, or simply focusing on building a happy, fulfilling life for yourself. So we definitely want to focus on building a happy, fulfilling life for ourselves. As far as reaching out to your ex, it does say this may involve. So it doesn't say everyone should do this, which is good, because not everyone should. Reaching out first is great for some people. It is very bad for other people. And, for some people, it's kind of in the middle. So again, with manifestation, especially when it comes to manifesting a partner, you need a customized approach. You really do. Because if you just go through and follow these things on the list, I would venture to say most people are going to struggle a lot, okay? There's definitely not enough information here to manifest your ex back. There's a lot missing. I'm going to be honest with you guys. There's a lot missing from this. So it doesn't talk about addressing your past issues, like identifying what are your limiting beliefs. There's no mention of talking about your limiting beliefs. And let me tell you something, if you don't figure out what your limiting beliefs are, even if you do get back together, it's just going to end again, right? You need to get to the root of what caused the problem in the first place. Otherwise, that problem is just going to come up again. So there's no mention of that at all. There's also not very clear instructions, right? So the very first thing that you need to do when you're manifesting an X is deal with those 5 pillars of manifestation. So your beliefs, your thoughts, your feelings, your words, and your actions. So with each of these, you need to identify what are the problem areas, how do I fix them, and what are the goals, right? So what is the problem, what is the goal, and how do I bridge that gap? That's the very first thing. That is foundational. Without that, it's very unlikely that you're going to get any long-term manifestation, right? You can get short-term results, but without addressing those 5 pillars, it's very likely that either you're not going to get your manifestation at all, or if you do get it, it's not going to be exactly what you wanted, or it's not going to last as long as you want it to. So those 5 pillars are essential. I don't see that talked about really anywhere in here. This also does not talk about how to deal with contact. Should I do contact, no contact, limited contact? How do I do it? When do I do it? It doesn't talk about that. It doesn't talk about how to manifest communication. It doesn't talk about creating a healthy daily routine, which is essential. It very lightly talks about techniques, but this is not very much information. It's super basic and not right for everyone. It does not talk about how to deal with hot and cold behavior. It doesn't talk about how to manifest faster, how to deal with feelings of impatience. It says don't have worries, fears, or doubts, but it doesn't tell you how to do that, so that's not very helpful. It doesn't tell you how to troubleshoot, which is really important. So if things are not quite going the way you want, how do we fix it? It doesn't talk about that. So there's a lot here that's missing. It's very, very basic. I would say don't rely on ChatGPT to get your ex back, because this ain't gonna do it. And then this final thing here is, remember, manifestation is not a magic formula. It's important to approach with realistic expectations and a healthy mindset. Realistic expectations are whatever you think they are. Okay, so one person can have a realistic expectation that they're going to get married. They're going to marry their ex, and that's realistic. Okay, and that is realistic if you think it is. Somebody else can have a realistic expectation of, I just want to talk to them one more time. And for them, maybe that's realistic. So realistic is relative. Respect your ex's boundaries and feelings. Yes, absolutely. Be open to whatever outcome serves your highest good. So no, if you know how to manifest correctly, you can have your highest good with any outcome. Okay, so your highest good can be with your ex. Your highest good can be single. Your highest good can be with someone else. You decide what your highest good is. And if you really know how to manifest, that's what you can do. Okay, so I'm gonna give this answer, this gets a D. This is not gonna do much. This is not gonna do much. Well, that was pretty fun, I'm not gonna lie, but I don't think ChatGPT will put me out of a job anytime soon. It does have some great information, but the responses are ultimately pretty generic. I still strongly suggest a customized approach to manifestation. There is nothing like the experience of a real human being who has actually accomplished the things you're trying to do and can tell you about the experience firsthand. And although it did get a lot of things right, manifestation is not one size fits all. This information does not account for your unique individual needs. Everyone has different circumstances, learning styles, lifestyles, and goals. And I think it's really important to account for those things if you want the best possible result. Otherwise, you're just blindly following a computer that responds based on generic information that it can find online for free. So if you're interested in a customized approach to manifesting your dream life, check my description for links to coaching, courses, and meditations that have been highly successful with my clients. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe for new videos on manifestation. Comment below if you have any questions or requests for my next video. I'll see you in the next one, and happy manifesting.